There's a tremendous amount of innovation when it comes to databases. And at times it can be difficult to get to the simplicity of what a database is, to its essence. And because of it, I'm going to do here an overview of how we can simplify, distill these terms to its very basic examples. I'm going to go ahead and start off here by simply saying that a database we can think of as tables and relationships between tables. So if we start off with that assumption, how can we use some software to be able to create these and interact with them? Well, it turns out that there's a tremendous amount of software that you can use. But in our case, given our goal, we're going to start off with something that is pretty simple and pretty easy to use. It's called SQLite. Now, even though it's pretty simple and easy to use, you can see here that SQLite is the most used database engine in the world. It has a surprising amount of scalability, giving its simplicity and size. You can download it and it can be embedded into most software. It is so small. Now, when it comes to how do we use it, we're going to go ahead and download here an open source tool. The name of this tool is DB Browser for SQLite, logical name, given that that is exactly what it does. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and ask you to download now that. And you can find here packages. This is open source, so it is free. You can find packages for all operating systems. So go ahead and pause the video and do that now. Now, once you've done that, you'll see something like the following. You can see there that we can create new databases. And once we have one, we can browse the data and execute some SQL, the structured query language. This is the language of databases. Now we're going to go ahead and start off here by creating a new database. I'm going to go ahead and call it demo.db. And I'm going to save it within a folder on my desktop called database. And as you can see here, it is prompting me to start creating tables, but I'm going to go ahead and skip that for now. And as you can see here within my file system, I am inside of my desktop, inside of a folder called DB, and now I have a file, demo.db. Now into this file, the database standard for SQLite has created a number of placeholders. You can see there tables, indices, views, and triggers. So we have created a database with that simple software package, with that simple download. Even though it's empty, it is ready to go and it has a lot of the components that you would identify on all database platforms. Now let's go ahead and create a couple of tables and populate those tables. And to do so, we're going to go ahead and go to SQL here, execute SQL. And I'm going to go ahead and paste some SQL into this window, a couple of tables and some data. I'm going to go ahead and paste that. And if we scroll to the top, you can see here that I am creating a table of colleges. I am creating another one of students. And below that, there is some data that I'm going to input into those tables. So let's go ahead and run that. I'm going to go ahead and press that button here. And that has run. As you can see here within our information of the database, we now have two tables. We have colleges and students. And if we were to navigate over to browse data, we would be able to see our data in colleges. And if we move to the other table of students, we could see that data as well. So now let's go ahead and finish up by writing some queries. I'm going to go ahead and delete the SQL that I had before. Now I'm going to go ahead and enter a query, very simple query, select star, meaning all from colleges. I'm going to go ahead and run that. And as you can see there, I have the data from table, from colleges table. And you can see there that there is no filter. I'm getting all of the data. If I were to add a condition, for example, where city is equal to Cambridge and rerun that, you can see there that now I'm only getting a couple of hits. So as you can see here, we have gone very quickly from the notion of what a database is to downloading some software, to being able to create a database, to being able to create a couple of tables and populate them, to running some queries end to end in a few minutes.